that was phase one. I already told you a little bit of what I think about how AI imagery and videos can help in the design process in architecture. The second phase, which is right now, we just finished talking a little bit on how to create these images, but more in that conceptual and conceptual imagery that you can show to the clients at the beginning of a meeting. And now we're gonna talk a little bit to just finalize this, a little bit about the animations. Let me grab a sip of water. All right, so for animations, as I would say that animation is something that me personally, I would show once you have, like, I would say after the second meeting of the design. You know, the first meeting, I would normally bring images like this, right? That are things that have gotten built. But then I will also come with a lot of curated images that are AI, but are also curated by me, knowing that this is something that based on what my client has asked and based on this site and based on budget and based on the things that I know are feasible to the design part. So they are curated. You're not just showing them any images, you're curating them. For instance, if you like this one here, but you feel like there's something off, you can still edit them. You can go to the editor here and edit it. You can change the prompt and see if you can get more iterations of that same design. Until you finally found something that is feasible, that you know that based on the conversations, under circumstances, this could be potentially a design option. But once you have that, and then the client, you know, says like, oh, I would like that, I would like this, blah, 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 blah. Then the second meeting is where I will start getting maybe like images, but also maybe you can kind of give it a quick animations. The great thing, so what are the benefits of animations versus imagery? So here is a good comparison. So let's see, we go all the way down here. All right, you see this image here. This is that image. Oh, my bad. Okay, so this is the image as far as just the 2D. Now, it's a great image. You can show it to the client. You can enhance it and change a little bit the saturation and stuff. And that's cool, but there's something about like a walkthrough, especially now, like that you could get a little bit more sense. So for instance, these are straight, which is fine, but now you have these ones that started going to the side too. So the great thing about this is that it adds another level of realism without losing the nice and warmness on being still conceptual. And I know it's hard to explain, but it's just another level that you're adding to the whole process. And I honestly think you're also kind of, and this is kind of like a business thing where they tell you find something that other people are not providing and how to provide the best service. This is something that is not just attention to detail, but it's something extra that other architecture firms are not providing to the clients, right? So whenever you are having these high-end clients, a lot of them maybe have worked with other designers in the past, and you showing them the latest trends of technology, you showing them things that they have not seen in the past. And again, this is just something might take you an extra 30 minutes. This is not something that had taken you a full day and you're going to have to build a client for this as far as like 8 hours more of billable time. But this is something that maybe took you an extra hour, but you're providing so much more than other competitions out there, plus conveying the design, plus adding a level of realism to it. And that's a lot more excitement to the client, because for them, they're kind of having like a nice thing without you having to spend a lot of time in a 3D model. So you can start kind of picturing what does it look to the side, and what will be that corner of it there, and how can they actually build this wall here. So you start getting a lot more insights from clients of how to build it. Like you start kind of talking about like, oh, how about this courtyard here, and what about the entry here? Do we want like columns here? Do we want to bring the entry out more? So the great thing is that it's in the conceptual part, you get a lot more insights and topics of conversation that you show a 2D image, right? Like 2D image is great, but this still feels very plain, right? Like maybe this is something you never thought about. Maybe again, the client never thought about this wall here, right? Like, or this area here. But once you kind of show them a little bit side, now you can kind of get some depth here, and they're like, okay, now that can be part of the conversation. Now you can get some depth here, and what could it be here? Could there be windows, doors? So it adds a lot more items that you can talk to the client on what to do. And this is something that just takes a little more time. Something that I'll recommend with the animations, as I said before, is to have at least 2 to 4 images as far as thinking about frames. So whenever you are doing this, unless you just want to do a very quick clip, but I honestly recommend to at least have 2 images where you can have the start and the end frame. So let's go a little bit to here, right? Now, I'm not gonna show you this one here because these also have only 1 frame. But if I go all the way to, let's see here. If I go all the way to this one here, I have a start frame, which was that. And then I have like a middle frame, which was a conceptual part of the design. So that's the concept, that's a middle frame, right? So that's 2 frames, right? One of them is the photorealistic image, and the other one is a conceptual image. But you see how it translates both? There's some better examples here as far as, so for instance, my start image, my start frame was that, but my end frame was that. So you see how whenever you give the AI a start frame and an end frame, it automatically can create an animation that is a lot more cinematic, and at the same time it has directions without having to completely guess. Because if I wouldn't have give that second frame, it will have completely missed the boat. It will have not give me that specific angle that I wanted. Now, take into account that this is a 3D model, so I was able to control the frames, but you can do something really like that here too. For instance, if you want like a close-up of this, you can keep extending this and actually saying like, hey, I want a close-up of the front door, and it would automatically go to the front door. It's a lot easier when you actually have the element in that image without you having to make the AI guess what's happening on the sides that is not actually shown in the image. Yeah, I mean, I think you at least want 2 images where you want to have like a 10-second clip. The reason why I like Kling, and this is kind of where I'm telling you what I like to use Kling and I like to use Midjourney together, because it gives me both options, right? When it comes to imagery, I like to use Midjourney because it has a better atmospheric environment. But when it comes to videos, a lot of times I prefer a little bit more Kling because it does have a better setup as far as start, and you can extend most of the time. Yeah, see, most of the time you can extend depending on the frame that you have it with. You can extend that, and I think this is because it's also Kling 1.6. Okay, that makes sense. It's a little weird of the extend, but you can extend it, and it's a lot easier to extend on Kling, in my opinion, than Midjourney. But it's probably because I've been using Kling more for animations, so I probably need to. If I give Midjourney a little more time, I think it will eventually translate. What are we doing here? All right. But here's like a demonstration with 1 clip. But you can see how it starts looking to the side, you see? Now, still covered by trees and everything, but you start getting a sense of like, oh, what's happening here? And now you get like a 3D view of that corner, and you can really assess, oh, do we want to extend that? So it really opens the conversations to things that maybe a 2D image that is front side is not giving you. So that's what I have for now, guys. I really will like to encourage you to start developing images that are more conceptual like that, especially in the beginning of the process, because that's where AI really help us. Because in architecture, we fizzle a lot at the beginning of the design process with clients, and photorealism is something that not necessarily is well received at the beginning. I'm talking residential, right? Like, if you're doing competitions and for a commercial museum or something, and your time frame deadline is 1 week or 2 weeks, and then yeah, I mean you're probably gonna do that. But for the majority of small, medium size, and even 1-person architecture firms, you are still in that design process where you're dealing with clients that at the beginning looking something more like this until there's an alignment. It's a lot better than going all the way and spending that much time in the 3D modeling and the photorealistic, or even just giving photorealistic AI images. Again, photorealistic, a lot of people get caught in materials and specific design, but whenever it's like this, even though it might not be the design that they want, it's still not as hard, and it still opens the door towards having a conversation. So that's all I have for you guys. In the next video, I'll probably talk a little more about styles. I'll see if I'm gonna start dabbing a lot more in depth into Midjourney, Kling, and then how to really in the design process get images and videos in there. So thank you guys. If you like the video, please give me a like, follow me, and I'll see you in the